Blessings, I'm Jules, and this is the Bio Quantum Podcast. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about soulmates, those love relationships that we all desire in our heart space, and where that's really coming from, what it means to fall in love, and then to kind of look at what the ascended human experience of love will or could look like. So, this is something that I have been sitting in for a couple of years now. And what I've discovered in exploring relationships in these last few years is that as we evolve as humans and we're moving past that chemical or primal response of the body, that love becomes different. It becomes something of a unique space of purity and reflection. And it becomes, I'm going to say, a little bit more rare in that finding a reflection of two people willing to come together in that purity is maybe a little bit harder to find. And I'd love to hear if you're experiencing this. So put that in the comments below. So I'm going to kind of trace back to when I remember kind of shifting from identifying in more of the structured or reality based on matter into experiencing reality more through frequency. And there was a few moments where I kind of stepped back and I was like, whoa, what is happening? And the first one was when I moved from my home that I lived in for 25 years. When I lived in Summit County, I was moving out of the county and I was kind of expecting that to be an emotional move. That's where my kids grew up. It was where my heart had been, and for such a long time. I love Summit County. If you've never been there, you definitely need to go visit. Breckenridge, Keystone area in Colorado, and I felt nothing. It was so clean, and the experience was just I guess you could just say I went through the experience without judgment. It was just a very beautiful frequency. And it wasn't even that it was an amazing frequency, it was just frequency, and there was no judgment in it. The next moment that I experienced that something definitely had shifted is I was watching a beautiful sunset. And I didn't get that kind of chemical response in my body of like, oh, that's so beautiful. It's almost like I wanted to say, oh, that's so beautiful, but I couldn't even go there because to name it felt like it diminished the experience. I just wanted to have the experience without putting good or bad on it. So that's the moment that I recognize if we're naming something of as good or bad, we're in the ego, we're in the program. And yes, there's a lot of beauty around us, and we can even name that beauty. But when it all comes down to it, the experience is the purity. It's once we name that experience that we've put it into a category of a programmed reality. Yes, we're going to continue to do that. Now let's bring it back to the point of love, soulmates, having a relationship in the frequency of love versus having a relationship through the experience of a programmed reality or through the programmed body. And we fall in love through oxytocin when we're in the programmed body. We have that chemical released in our body, and we, the one thing I'm going to say about that is that feeling that you're feeling is self-love. Because how many times are you falling in love and you start to see yourself as more valuable or more lovable than when you didn't have that reflection with another person in the chemical that's being reflected? That same experience can happen on a daily basis every time we ask to feel the frequency of love. And in that, we start to see ourselves as an expression of love, which deepens our love for ourselves. And guess what happens when we do that? We start to attract people that are also in self love. This is a journey. And it's not always going to be perfect. We're always in a reflection of exactly what we need to see. But if we choose to settle in and start to experience life outside of matter, outside of the chemical body, and we invite in the experience of divine love, do soulmates exist? I believe that everyone is a reflection of our love, right? And how much we love ourselves will be the experience of relationships that we're having. They're only there to show us where we need to love ourselves deeper. There's no judgment. It's just information. When we can start to see reality as information, we can ascend at a very fast rate. It's when we want to put judgment and story into what's being shown to us that we start to wrap in around it and create these looping cycles that create storylines, timelines that we then have to break in order to move beyond. Really think about that. What if your relationships could be a reflection of information giving you the ability to ascend? And in that reflection, when two people come together and agree on that as a purpose of a relationship to purify what it is to be in love and to use that reflection to not only ascend for the self, but to ascend in the reflection itself. Let it be divinely informed and then step back and watch what happens. I've been sitting in this now for a couple of years, and I've had a couple people come into my life that I thought maybe this could be something that we could do. And what I found is not everybody's ready to put the storyline of what it is to fall in love and really step into a mastery space of what is possible in love. And I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. I guess the invitation is here is what is it to find a soul mate? A soulmate for me is somebody that is willing to ascend in the purest space of what love is, not on based on matter, not based in a programmed reality, not based in the programmed body, but allowing it to move into a frequency where it's experienced on a multidimensional level. That takes commitment and devotion. All love takes devotion. It's just what are you devoting to? So now back to this space of finding a soulmate, experiencing a soulmate. It starts with you. Your soulmate is consciousness held in the frequency of source within your heart. Your soulmate is your relationship of consciousness based in that frequency. How much are you attuning to the purity of the love within yourself? And then, how is that being reflected in your life? Are you seeing the purity and love with others? And if there's a special someone that comes along the way, step back and allow it to be shown, taking conscious choices the whole entire way. And there may be a moment in that discovery that you do find someone that's willing to ascend with you and is holding a space of purity that you are looking for within a reflection. And all I'm going to say is say yes to the ones that your heart is saying yes to. And the rest of them, you just let go. Because the purest space of a divine love is how you're loving yourself. Are you saying yes to that love within you so that you can say yes to that same frequency when you meet that special someone? All right, everyone, I'm just sending you so much love. Thank you for being my soul family. I feel you in my heart every day, and I am so honored to take this journey with you.